My child, within the next 3 days, something will happen that will leave even your enemies speechless. I have already moved heaven on your behalf, and what I am about to release into your life cannot be stopped. Do not ignore this message, because the breakthrough you cried for is no longer coming someday. It is arriving now. Listen to me carefully, my beloved child, because these words are not appearing before you by accident. I brought you here for this exact moment. Before you clicked on this message, before your eyes began reading these words, I already knew the pain sitting quietly inside your heart. I saw the exhaustion you hide behind your smile. I saw the nights when you tried to act strong while silently asking me, Lord, when will my life finally change? I heard every whisper, every prayer, every tear that fell when nobody else was watching. And now I am telling you clearly, your waiting season is coming to an end. Something big is approaching your life, and it will arrive faster than you think. For a long time, you believed you were forgotten. You watched other people move ahead while your own doors stayed closed. You wondered why your efforts felt ignored. You questioned why your prayers seemed delayed. There were moments when disappointment became so heavy that you almost stopped expecting good things to happen at all. But my child, what you called delay was actually divine protection. What you thought was rejection was me rearranging things behind the scenes. I could not allow certain doors to open because hidden dangers stood behind them. I could not allow certain people to stay because they were assigned to drain your peace and destroy your destiny. I know you did not understand it then, but I was protecting you in ways your eyes could not see. There were spiritual battles happening around you that you never fully understood. There were attacks against your mind, attacks against your confidence, attacks against your future. The enemy wanted you tired. The enemy wanted you hopeless. The enemy wanted you to believe that nothing would ever change. But I stood between you and the destruction that was trying to reach your life. I silenced conversations that were happening against you. I blocked plans that would have harmed you. I removed people who smiled in front of you while secretly praying for your downfall. And even though you cried because certain things left your life, you will soon realize those losses were actually rescue missions sent from heaven. My beloved child, I need you to hear me deeply right now. This next season will not look like the last one. The darkness that surrounded you is breaking. The heaviness that followed you is lifting. The confusion that clouded your thoughts is being removed. I am stepping into your situation with power, and what I release into your life over these next 3 days will become undeniable proof that my hand has always been upon you. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is not random timing. This is my divine intervention moving directly into your story. You have cried enough. You have worried enough. You have spent too many nights carrying burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. But now heaven is moving. Angels are being assigned. Doors are beginning to unlock. Chains that held back your progress are being broken apart even now while you listen to my voice. The very people who thought your story was over are about to witness me lift you in ways they never expected. They will not be able to explain what happened. They will not understand how things changed so quickly. But you will know. Deep inside your spirit, you will know it was me. Do not doubt what I am telling you. Do not allow fear to talk you out of believing again. I know disappointment made you cautious. I know pain taught you to stop expecting miracles. But I did not create you to live trapped in fear and hopelessness. I created you to walk in faith. And right now, I am calling your faith back to life. I am asking you to prepare your heart because the very thing you thought was impossible is beginning to move toward you. There are blessings connected to your obedience in this season. There are breakthroughs connected to your trust. There are miracles connected to your willingness to believe my voice even when circumstances still look uncertain. I know you cannot see everything happening behind the scenes, but you do not need to see it in order for it to be real. Seeds grow underground before anyone sees the harvest. Rain forms in the heavens before it touches the earth. In the same way, I have already started shifting things for you before the visible evidence appears. My child, I moved heaven for you because I love you more than you realize. I watched you survive battles that should have destroyed your peace. I watched you continue walking even while carrying pain nobody understood. I saw the moments you wanted to quit but still whispered prayers through your tears. I saw your faith fighting to stay alive in the middle of discouragement. And because you kept holding on, even weakly, even imperfectly, I am about to reward your endurance. Type Amen. I believe in miracles if you know God is still moving mountains in your life. You are closer to your breakthrough than you think. What looked dead is about to breathe again. What looked delayed is about to suddenly accelerate. What looked impossible is about to unfold right in front of your eyes. I am releasing restoration into areas where you only expected disappointment. I am sending healing into wounds you thought would never recover. I am opening doors that no human being can close. And once I begin this work in your life, nobody will be able to stop what I have declared over you. But listen carefully, my child, because this moment is important. Over these next 3 days, guard your heart closely. Do not let fear enter your mind. Do not allow negative voices to weaken your faith. Stay close to me. Speak with me. Pray even when you feel uncertain. Worship even before you see the answer. Trust me even while the process is still unfolding. The enemy will try to whisper that nothing is changing, but do not believe those lies. Some miracles begin quietly before they suddenly appear all at once. I am asking you not to give up right before the breakthrough arrives. Too many people walk away during the final moments before their blessing appears. Too many people allow fear to cancel what faith was preparing to receive. But you must remain steady now. You must keep believing now. Because what I promised you is not empty words. Heaven already responded. The decision has already been made. The answer is already moving toward your life. You are entering days that will shift your story forever. The heaviness of your past will not follow you where I am taking you. The shame you carried will not define your future. The disappointment that once broke your spirit will not have the final word over your life. I am restoring your confidence. I am rebuilding your hope. I am reminding you that I still perform miracles for those who trust me. My precious child, breathe again. Hope again. Believe again. The tears you cried were not wasted. The waiting was not meaningless. The pain was not the end of your story. I have been writing a greater chapter for your life this entire time. And now the pages are beginning to turn. Within these next 3 days, you will begin to see signs that I am moving. Unexpected peace will enter your spirit. Certain doors will suddenly open. Certain burden will suddenly lift. Certain answers will arrive when you least expect them. And when it happens, remember this moment. Remember that I warned you beforehand so your faith would rise instead of your fear. I declared your breakthrough before heaven itself. I silenced what blocked you. I rearranged what stood against you. I move things people cannot even see. And now, my child, get ready, because what I release into your life will shock everyone watching your journey. It is already written. It is already spoken. It is already done. My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen carefully to my voice, because what I am about to speak over your life is not ordinary. This is not another message that will pass through your ears and disappear from your heart. These words carry urgency from heaven. I brought you here because your spirit needed to hear this before the next chapter of your life begins. You did not arrive here by coincidence. I guided your steps. I arranged this moment. I made sure your eyes would fall upon these words because there is something happening around you that you cannot fully see yet. The atmosphere around your life is shifting. The spiritual battle that surrounded you is changing direction. And within the next 3 days, you will begin to witness proof that I have been working behind the scenes all along. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us, given link in description or pinned comment to show your support. My child, I know how tired you have become. I know the weight you have been carrying deep inside your chest. I know there were mornings when you woke up already exhausted before the day even began. I saw the silent battles nobody else knew you were fighting. I saw the pressure on your mind. I saw the moments when fear tried to wrap itself around your thoughts and convince you that nothing would ever change. I watched you continue moving even when your heart felt weak. And now I am telling you this because I need you to understand something very important. Your suffering did not go unnoticed by me. Every tear mattered. Every prayer reached heaven. Every lonely night was recorded before my throne. I was with you through all of it. There were moments when you questioned my silence. You wondered why your answers were delayed. You wondered why certain doors remained closed no matter how hard you prayed. There were times when you looked at your life and quietly asked, Lord, why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward while I remain stuck? But my precious child, if only you could see what I protected you from, you would understand why I allowed some delays. Not every closed door was punishment. Some closed doors were rescue. Some unanswered prayers were acts of mercy. Some endings were actually divine protection wearing painful clothing. I know it hurt when certain people walked away. I know it broke your heart when opportunities disappeared. But I removed what would have eventually destroyed your peace. You have entered a season where heaven is now responding differently over your life. The waiting season is beginning to break apart. The spiritual resistance that fought against your progress is weakening. I have already sent movement into places that looked frozen. I have already spoken commands over situations that appeared impossible. Things are shifting even though your eyes cannot fully see it yet. Just because you cannot see the roots growing underground does not mean the tree is dead. And just because the answer has not fully appeared yet does not mean I have forgotten you. I have been preparing this moment carefully, piece by piece, step by step, while you were still wondering if anything was happening at all. My beloved child, there are spiritual battles you never even realized you survived. There were attacks planned against your mind, your peace, your future, and your purpose. The enemy wanted you to become so discouraged that you would stop believing in my promises altogether. He wanted disappointment to silence your prayers. He wanted delay to convince you that I had abandoned you. But I stood beside you even when you could not feel my presence. I defended you in wombs you never entered. I blocked attacks you never saw. I silenced voices that secretly spoke against your future. There were moments when destruction almost reached your doorstep, but my hand intervened before it touched you. And now I am telling you clearly, the next 3 days carry divine significance over your life. Something is changing. Something is opening. Something is about to move suddenly after a long season of waiting. I need you to prepare your heart because the breakthrough you cried for is no longer far away. What you thought would take years, I can change in moments. What looked impossible to people around you is still completely possible for me. I am not limited by human timing. I am not restricted by earth's circumstances. I can shift situations overnight. I can restore what looked permanently broken. I can open doors nobody else can unlock. Do not allow fear to speak louder than my promises now. I know disappointment taught you to stop expecting too much. I know pain made you cautious. I know your heart became afraid of hoping again because you did not want to be hurt again. But my child, this is not the time to retreat in fear. This is the time to trust me deeper than before. Because what I am preparing to release into your life will require faith to receive it fully. You cannot walk into a new season while still chained emotionally to the pain of the old one. You must let hope rise again. You must allow your spirit to believe again that miracles still happen. I know some days you felt invisible. You smiled in front of people while secretly breaking inside. You carried burdens nobody understood. You fought battles privately while still trying to remain strong publicly. But I saw all of it. I saw the courage it took just for you to continue waking up each morning. I saw the strength it took for you to keep praying even after repeated disappointments. And because I saw your endurance, because I saw your faith trying to survive under pressure, heaven has already begun responding on your behalf. There are things happening right now that you cannot yet explain. Certain people are being moved out of your path. Certain opportunities are beginning to align. Certain delays are about to suddenly break open. I am rearranging things around you because where I am taking you next cannot be entered carrying the same heaviness that almost destroyed you before. The season ahead of you will not look like the season behind you. The grief will not follow you forever. The confusion will not remain forever. The struggle will not define the rest of your story. My child, I need you to remain spiritually alert over these next 3 days. Pay attention to what I place in your heart. Pay attention to the peace I release into your spirit. Pay attention to unexpected changes, unusual conversations, sudden opportunities, and moments that feel divinely timed. Because I speak in ways people often overlook. Sometimes I move quietly before I move visibly. Sometimes I shift things spiritually before they manifest physically. But when the appointed moment arrives, everything can subtly change at once. You not share every detail of what you feel happening inside you. Not everybody around you can understand what heaven is preparing for your life. Some people carry doubts strong enough to weaken your faith if you listen too closely to them. Protect your spirit during this season. Stay close to me instead of seeking validation from people. I do not need human permission to bless your life. When I decide it is time for breakthrough, no person, no obstacle, no spiritual attack, and no delay can permanently stop what I have declared. You are entering days where my power will become visible in ways you did not expect. I am restoring things that look too damaged to recover. I am healing areas where you only expected more pain. I am bringing life back into places where disappointment once lived. The tears you cried in secret are about to become testimony spoken publicly. The same people who counted you out will witness me lift you in front of their eyes. and they will not be able to deny that my hand was responsible for the change. My beloved child, do not fear the future anymore. I already stand inside your tomorrow. I already know how this story unfolds. And I promise you this: you are not walking toward destruction. You are walking toward divine intervention. You are walking toward restoration. You are walking toward answered prayers. Heaven has already moved. The command has already been spoken. The breakthrough has already begun in the spiritual realm. Now trust me completely. Stay close to my voice. Refuse to surrender to fear. Because within the next 3 days, the shift you have prayed for will begin to reveal itself. And when it happens, your heart will finally understand why I told you to hold on just a little longer. My beloved child, there are battles you survived that nobody around you ever fully understood. People saw your smile, but they did not see the storm hiding behind it. They heard your voice, but they did not hear the silent cries you whispered to me late at night when your heart felt too heavy to carry anymore. They did not see the moments when you sat alone wondering how much longer you could keep pretending to be strong. But I saw everything. I saw every hidden wound. I saw every anxious thought. I saw the nights when sleep escaped you because your mind was overwhelmed with fear, uncertainty, and exhaustion. And through every one of those moments, I stayed beside you even when you thought you were alone. Comment Amen. You reign in my heart, Jesus, if He's truly Lord of your life. My child, you have blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. You carried guilt for situations you could not control. You questioned your worth because of how people treated you. You wondered if maybe you were the reason doors closed, relationships failed, or opportunities disappeared. But I need you to understand something now. Not every loss was punishment. Some people left because they could not follow where I am taking you. Some situations collapsed because they were built on unstable foundations that could never carry your future. And some doors shut because danger stood behind them even though you could not yet see it. The enemy fought hard against your destiny because he recognized the calling resting over your life before you recognized it yourself. He saw the potential inside you. He saw the future I planned for you. And because of that, attacks were assigned against your mind, your confidence, your peace, and your purpose. That heaviness you kept feeling was not always natural. There were spiritual forces trying to discourage you, trying to make you believe that your future would never change. There were whispers of fear sent against your thoughts. There were moments when hopelessness wrapped itself around your spirit so tightly that even getting through one more day felt exhausting. But listen to me carefully, my child. The reason you are still standing today is because I never stopped protecting you. Even in moments when you thought you were abandoned, my hand remained over your life. There were accidents that never happened because I intervened. There were betrayals I exposed before they destroyed you completely. There were traps the enemy prepared that I shut down before they could fully reach you. You have no idea how many times heaven stepped in quietly to preserve your future while you were unaware of the battle taking place around you. I know there were times when you begged me for immediate answers. I know there were moments when frustration filled your heart because you could not understand why your prayers seemed delayed. You wondered why I stayed silent while you struggled emotionally, financially, mentally, and spiritually. But my child, my silence was never absence. While you were crying, I was working. While you were waiting, I was rearranging things behind the scenes. While you were questioning if anything would ever improve, I was removing obstacles you did not even know existed. Some people smiled in front of you while secretly hoping for your downfall. Some people pretended to support you while quietly carrying jealousy in their hearts. Some relationships drained your spirit because they were never sent to strengthen you. But because I love you deeply, I could not allow every connection to stay. I know certain separations broke your heart. I know some endings left you confused and wounded. But later you will understand that many of those departures were acts of divine protection. I removed what would have eventually damaged your peace beyond repair. My beloved child, you became so used to surviving that you forgot what peace feels like. You learned how to function while carrying emotional pain. You learned how to smile while your spirit quietly struggled underneath the surface. You became strong because life forced you to become strong. But I never created you just to survive endlessly. I created you to live in freedom, peace, purpose, and joy. And now I am beginning to break the chains that kept you trapped in cycles of fear and exhaustion. There were days when you almost gave up completely. Days when disappointment became so heavy that your faith felt weak. Days when your prayers sounded more like cries for help than confident declarations. But even then, I did not reject you. I did not grow tired of you. I did not turn away from your weakness. In fact, I moved even closer to you during those broken moments. Because I am not only present when you feel strong, I remain beside you when your strength disappears too. I watched you carry burdens in silence because you feared nobody would understand your pain. I watched you overthink every situation because anxiety convinced you something bad was always coming next. I watched you replay conversations in your mind, wondering why people hurt you the way they did. And I watched the enemy try to fill your heart with bitterness, insecurity, and fear. But even through all of that darkness, my hand continued covering your life. You thought you were falling apart, but in reality I was rebuilding you. You thought everything was collapsing, but I was removing unstable foundations before leading you into something greater. You thought the delay meant failure, but heaven was actually preparing timing that would protect your future. There are blessings connected to your life that require preparation before they arrive. If I had released certain things too early, they would have crushed you instead of blessing you. That is why I allowed some seasons of waiting, not to punish you, but to prepare you. My child, I also need you to understand that some battles were necessary because they shaped the person you are becoming. The pressure taught you endurance. The loneliness taught you how to seek me deeply. The betrayal taught you discernment. The delays taught you patience. The suffering taught you compassion for other wounded people. And while you hated many parts of the process, I was quietly strengthening areas inside you that will become necessary for the future I prepared. You are not weak because you struggled emotionally. You are not failing because you became tired. You are not forgotten because your answers took time. The fact that you are still here after everything you survived is proof that my power has been carrying you this entire time. Many people would have completely broken under the weight you carried. But I sustained you even during the moments when you felt empty. Now listen carefully, my beloved child, because this next part is important. The hidden battles that surrounded your life are beginning to lose their power. The spiritual attacks against your peace are weakening. The confusion that clouded your mind is beginning to clear. The heaviness that followed you from season to season is starting to lift. I have already begun shifting things spiritually, and soon you will see visible evidence of the change taking place around you. The enemy wanted your story to end in discouragement. He wanted you trapped in fear forever. He wanted you to believe your best days were behind you. Well, he failed, because I already declared that your future would not be destroyed. I already decided that your life would become a testimony of my faithfulness, and what I speak cannot be overturned by darkness. My precious child, stop believing the lie that you are too damaged for restoration. Stop believing the lie that your mistakes disqualified you from my love. Stop believing the lie that your future is ruined because of your past pain. I am greater than every wound. I am greater than every failure. I am greater than every attack sent against your life. And right now, I am beginning a new chapter over you. You may not fully understand everything happening yet, but trust me anyway. The same God who protected you through hidden battles will also lead you into hidden blessings. The same hand that carried you through suffering will carry you into restoration. And the same voice that comforted you during your darkest nights is now declaring that breakthrough is approaching faster than you realize. Hold on tightly to my promises now, because the season of constant struggle is not your permanent story. I am healing what pain damaged. I am restoring what fear stole. I am rebuilding what disappointment weakened. And very soon, you will look back and realize that even in your darkest season, I was still guiding every step of your journey. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand now that you could not fully see during your season of waiting. While you were crying, wondering, praying, and trying to survive each difficult day, heaven was moving on your behalf. Things were happening behind the scenes that your natural eyes could not recognize. I was not sitting silently while your life remained stuck. I was rearranging people. I was shifting timing. I was removing obstacles. I was blocking attacks. I was positioning blessings. And even though you thought nothing was changing, entire spiritual battles were taking place around your future. You asked me many times, Lord, why does everything feel delayed? But my child, delay does not always mean denial. Sometimes I must move certain things out of your path before I release what you prayed for. There were people connected to your life who could not go where I am taking you. Some carried hidden jealousy. Some carried manipulation. Some carried intentions that would have eventually wounded your spirit deeply. You only saw their words, but I saw their hearts. And because I love you too much to let the wrong hands touch your destiny, I quietly separated certain people from your life before they could fully damage what I was building inside you. I know some separations broke your heart. I know you begged me to restore relationships that I allowed to fall apart. I know you question why certain people suddenly became distant or cold toward you. But my child, if I remove someone from your path, it was because I could see what you could not. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes distance is deliverance. Sometimes the closed door that hurt you the most is the very thing that saved your future. There were also blessings I held back temporarily because your spirit was still healing from battles you survived. If I had released certain opportunities too early, you would have entered them carrying fear, insecurity, and exhaustion from your previous season. And what was meant to bless you would have overwhelmed you instead. So I allowed time for restoration. I allowed healing to happen quietly inside your heart. I allowed hidden growth to take place beneath the surface while you believed nothing was happening at all. My beloved child, angels have been assigned concerning your life in ways you cannot fully understand yet. There are moments when heaven intervened directly to stop destruction from reaching you. There were roads you never traveled because I protected you. There were decisions you almost made that would have led to pain, but I redirected your steps. There were moments when confusion suddenly entered your mind because I was warning you not to move forward into danger. You thought it was anxiety, but sometimes it was my spirit protecting you from hidden harm. I have also been working within hearts around you. There are people I am preparing to help you. There are divine connections being aligned. There are conversations already happening that will eventually open doors for your future. You may feel isolated now, but you are not forgotten. Heaven has not overlooked your name. I know exactly where you are, exactly what you need, and exactly when to release it. You must understand this clearly now. What is about to happen in your life is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is not random chance. It is my hand moving with intention. People may try to explain your breakthrough naturally, but deep inside you will know that heaven fought for this moment. You will know that what unfolds over your life could never have happened without divine intervention. The enemy worked hard to block your progress because he understood the impact your future carries. He tried to surround you with discouragement. He attacked your confidence so you would stop believing in yourself. He attacked your peace so you would constantly feel restless and emotionally drained. He attacked you hope because hopeless people stop expecting miracle. But despite every attack, you are still here. Bruising, perhaps. Tired, yes. Wounded at times. But still standing. And that alone proves my hand has remained over your life. My precious child, I also rearranged circumstances that once looked impossible. There were financial struggles that should have destroyed you completely, but somehow you survived. There were emotional breakdowns that should have shattered your spirit, but somehow you kept moving forward. There were moments when you thought you had reached the end of your strength, yet something inside you kept going. That something was my power carrying you when your own strength disappeared. You often asked me for immediate miracles while I was actually building permanent transformation inside you. I was teaching you to trust me even without visible evidence. I was strengthening your spirit through waiting. I was preparing you for blessings that require maturity, wisdom, and discernment. Because the next season of your life will require a stronger version of you than the previous season ever did. There are also things I silenced that you never heard about. Conversations meant to destroy your reputation. Plans meant to block your opportunities. Spiritual attacks sent against your mind and emotions. I canceled assignments against your future before they fully formed. I protected your name in rooms where you were not present. I caused confusion among those who secretly plotted against you. And while you worried that nobody defended you, heaven itself was fighting on your behalf. My child, the reason certain things suddenly collapsed around you is because I could no longer allow unstable foundations to remain in your life. Some environments were suffocating your spirit. Some relationships were weakening your discernment. Some habits were quietly draining your peace. And because I saw where those paths would eventually lead, I interrupted them before destruction fully arrived. I know it felt painful when things fell apart, but many things had to break so greater things could finally be built. Now the season is changing. The resistance around your life is beginning to break. What felt blocked is beginning to move again. What felt delayed is starting to accelerate. Heaven has already started shifting things into position for your breakthrough. You may not yet see the full picture, but movement has already begun in the spiritual realm. Doors are unlocking. Chains are breaking. Answers are approaching. And the very things you almost gave up praying for are beginning to move toward you. Do not lose faith now, my beloved child. Do not allow fear to convince you that nothing is happening. Some of the greatest miracles begin quietly before they suddenly become visible all at once. A seed grows underground long before anyone sees the harvest above the soil. And in the same way, I have been preparing your breakthrough beneath the surface while you believed heaven was silent. I know your heart became tired from waiting. I know disappointment made you afraid to expect too much. But this is not the season to retreat emotionally. This is the season to trust me more deeply than before. Because where I am taking you next will require confidence in my voice, not fear rooted in your past pain. The people watching your life will soon witness changes they cannot explain. The same individuals who assumed your story would remain filled with struggle are about to see my favor move powerfully over you. They will watch doors open unexpectedly. They will watch restoration enter areas that once looked hopeless. They will watch peace return to your spirit after seasons of heaviness. And many of them will wonder how things changed so suddenly. Type Amen. I trust your divine plan if you know God has already written your future. And share this video.